Sanctuary. This is your host, ScottyB. Some say that beauty is only skin deep and that often words have two meanings. My next guest has written some of the most profound truths that I've ever seen on living life and finding your true potential. She's a fun side, a nerdy side, and can blend serious tones in her storytelling seamlessly and has drawn in nearly 500,000 followers doing so. Telling you to fall in love with life and that there is no checklist. Please welcome model, influencer, and cosplayer, Seattle's Beauty, to the show.
Hi, thank you I'm so grateful and honored to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And it's really great to be able to talk to you. And I know that you have met my bold and brave co-host,
Yes, we have.
Cosplay.
It actually was a sale. She bought one of my costumes back in December, and then it just turned into a friendship. So we've been friends for 3 months now.
Yes, it was a complete accident. I had been watching her for a while and looking up to her stuff, and it just so happened I caught that she had been selling some of her suits, and she was selling her Supergirl suit. So I happened to just buy it from her, and then we just started talking, and now we like FaceTime, and it's great. And we've just been the greatest accidental friendship ever.
Well, and it's so great. I know you had a live recently, and you were talking. I did catch a little bit of that. And I learned a few things about both of you from that cast. Now I know that Astrovoid is a big fan of Star Trek, which we will discuss later. But also learned a little bit about your origin story, Seattle's Beauty, and just the things that got you into cosplay. And I was wondering if you might want to talk about how you got into cosplay and some of the reasons behind that. I know that it had some things to do with your sister Nat, and that your first cosplay was Elsa, but would really just love to hear how you got started in cosplay.
So it honestly was like an accident at the beginning because, like I said, my sister and I were planning to be Frozen characters, but then she passed away. And that Halloween one year, I decided to dress up as Elsa in honor of her. And then I went to the mall with my handicapped sister. She was dressed up as Minnie Mouse, and people kept looking at me, staring at me, thought I worked at the Disney store. I was like, no, I'm not an employee of the mall either. But I literally got a custom Elsa costume and did my hair and blue contacts and everything. Like, I was just on point with Elsa, and over 250 people took pictures with me. And my mom and I actually were starting to cry because we were like, this is amazing. And after that day, we were like, you know what, let's do more with this. So we actually started going to Children's Hospital in Seattle and donated toys and did like little visits and charities. And I did a few birthday parties, but I kind of quit a little bit after that. So kind of just more of a charity thing. But yeah, I mostly did Disney princesses for a while. I did try to do Wonder Woman. I did make my first Wonder Woman costume, but it fell apart. So I had to like throw that away.
Oh, it fell apart? Yeah.
So what happened was I tried to handmade from an old corset some pieces of leather, and then I tried to put cardboard pieces to get the W on the chest, and it just fell apart. So lots of fabric glue because I didn't know how to use a sewing machine at the time. But yeah, it just became a thing. But I honestly feel like I've expanded more into the cosplay world once I started TikTok, and I just started off doing like closet cosplays, and then my first ever costume was Wonder Woman, and I started doing like funny Wonder Woman TikToks, and then everybody was like, oh, you should do like a Marvel character. Then I started Black Widow, and then it just even expanded more in July last year, so now I have like over 40 cosplays.
Well, it just speaks. I mean, it's really cool. I think anybody who wants to check out Seattle's Beauty, of course, and we will definitely get to that part of the show. But you do have a highlight section for mindset on your Instagram, and you always seem to have a very positive outlook and thoughts. No matter what seems to be happening inside of your life and all of these different things that have gone on. and just these deep thoughts and perceptions. One thing I will quote, and that really stood out with me. You said the beautiful thing about life is that you can change, grow, and get better. You aren't defined by your past mistakes. Wow. So would you like to talk a little bit about mindset?
Honestly, we're all human. Like, we all go through big decisions and struggle sometimes. But mostly when I posted that, I was going through so much chaos. And when I finally let go, I started being myself again and being happy and working towards my goals. And literally for a while, I was starting to like feel myself again, because like we were in a pandemic and I've had to lose friends, I've lost family, and just a lot of decisions were made, but like it's definitely like been worth it at the end.
Something that I'd like to talk a little bit about is cosplaying in Seattle. One of your favorite cons, and the cons that you would go through, just in general. What are some of your favorite conventions? Not that we have too many to go to right now, but are there ones that you'd like to travel to when we get back to everything, or is there a convention close to you that you really want to get back to?
I've gone to Seattle Comic-Con twice and I loved it. I was supposed to go last year, and I also was supposed to go to the Phoenix Comic-Con as well in San Diego, because I currently created some friendships expanding into the cosplay community. They were like, Sarah, like, you should definitely get like a Wonder Woman costume and come down to like Cali and like Phoenix. And I'm like, okay. And then the whole pandemic started, but yeah, I really would love to go. I just want to go like everywhere. Like, I have friends everywhere and I just want to go to like all the Comic Cons. I know there's one in like London, and I've been to London before, and
oh, really?
That's a major like Comic Con convention up there too. So
how did you like London?
Oh, I love the history and the architecture, but not really a fan of the food.
Well, it's very British. I can say that. I am going to send this next part over to Astrovoid, because she is well, like I said, I'm the odd man out, and you are wearing your Scarlet Witch, and Seattle's Beauty is wearing her Black Widow. I know I heard a little bit on the last live that you did together. You were talking about possibly a team up. And is that something like, is this something that you would coordinate, or would you choose different characters? What would you do?
Well, actually, it really depends. I mean, we joked about doing Marjorie and Sansa. We talked about doing Daphne and Velma, but anything would be amazing. I just adore her in her entirety. So literally anything would be amazing. And hopefully one day when the world goes back to some sense of normalcy, we might get to like meet up one day in person. But for now, all we have is virtual and like TikTok and stuff like that. And luckily the platforms are conducive to that sort of environment, so we can actually still work together from a distance. But yeah, I would love to do anything with her, because I'm saying her as she's not here. You're right here. I say this as if we aren't friends who talk on the regular. But something that I had really wanted to actually bring up was your degree, because it's something that you're really passionate about. I know we were talking about on the live the other day, and just like how you found that, how you got into that, and what inspires you to do all of that. So
yeah, honestly, my passion is to be a Disney animator. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved Disney movies. I was obsessed with Beauty and the Beast. I wore a Belle costume for 3 months straight. I refused to wear anything else, and I think that's when I started to like actually love dressing up, was Disney movies and stuff. And you guys know the feeling, like every time you watch like a Disney movie or a Marvel movie, you feel that sense of joy and like empowerment and just everything. And that's really what I want to do for others, is just like kind of give that sensibility of like away from reality for a while, and then just like have that sense of happiness and feel like they could just accomplish anything. Like when I went to Children's Hospital in my Elsa costume, and then when the kids lit up and they just had like that sense of joy, like they didn't care about what they're going through. I just really love making them smile, and I just want to make people smile and just be their own. Like Disney, like Walt Disney was a big like inspiration to me, and I would love to be like a big inspiration for people.
Yeah, and they, I mean, there's so much. So that's really your area of focus. You're going to be an animator?
Yeah, I
Wow. Okay.
I've actually expanded my degree a bit. I have an associate's in video game development and interactive media. And then I'm currently working on like being a visual specialist because I've currently have friends who are stunt people and have kind of been animating their videos and kind of adding some fun effects. Like I've been upping my game on TikTok, doing like Scarlet Witch with like the powers and everything. And so yeah, kind of upping my game a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the effects are really cool that you've been coming up with on that. But no, I had absolutely, well, no, I didn't know that that was your area of focus. It's so cool. It's super hard to do. I mean, if you watch any of the videos like behind the scenes with Disney, and they show the animation like both now and way back when everybody was hand drawing everything. But even when you go to conventions and you see the artists, you see the animators there. If you're lucky and the animators are at your convention, there were a couple at C2E2. But just the level of detail and being able to be so exact over and over and over again, like that's the thing that really gets me about animation. Is it's not just drawing the character, it's drawing the character exactly the same way every single time. That's so crazy. But of course, this is like no big deal for you. You're just like, oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I have professors who made me draw hands, like just my hand, like 50 times, or like certain facial expressions. Like I've done the hand drawing, like the old-fashioned animation, to doing like the Pixar stuff. So I've definitely experienced in all of that.
Talking about TikTok a little bit more. Actually, when I was looking through your feed, the first comment that I came across was on a post called "Comment on How You Found Me." And the first comment that I saw was, "I found you on TikTok a super long time ago before I started." And yeah, that was my first impression. And I think we know whose comment that was by the reaction that we got.
You are outing me. I sound like a fangirl. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was me. It's true. Because I had started TikTok, I was kind of late to the game. I only started recently, and when I did, I talked about this before on the show, but there were certain people that I had looked up to and watched in order to learn what I was doing. And Sarah, Seattle's Beauty, was one of those people. And so, and it's kind of crazy now, I said this before, but getting to interact with the people that I had watched and looked up to, and now that I am actually friends with some of them, that's kind of insane to me. But yeah, no, she's just so talented and so incredible. I'm saying it again like she's not right below me on the screen. Definitely a fangirl, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, yes, we're friends, but I'm still a giant fangirl of her, and I probably always will be. But no, she's just, I can't speak highly enough of her and all that she does. It's just amazing. The fact that she interacts with her supporters the way she does, and the fact that she'll do anything she can to help someone. Like she didn't even know who I was at first, and I mean, why would she? But it's just her kindness and how willing she was to work with me and talk with me. And yeah, I cannot believe that you went and found that comment. I'm very, how dare you, Scotty, outing me.
The comment found me. This is how the algorithm works.
On our own podcast. How could you do this to me?
But yeah, there's just so many good quotes. I want to share one more if I could from Seattle's Beauty. It said, "Have an aim in life, continuously acquire knowledge, work hard, and have perseverance to realize the great life. Yes, I really think that that's just, there's so much going on there, and what a better place to learn and grow and be inspired than cosplay. And really, when you are putting together a cosplay, is there a source, and I guess this will lead into my last question a little bit later, but do you find the inspiration from the cosplay, or is it the other way around, where you're kind of channeling the inspiration into what you do?
As I meant by that is like knowledge as in experiences, and we all make decisions such as like, what do we want to, do with our lives, or where should we like live, or even taking chances on like falling in love. And the more from what we learn from everything, it helps grow us as a person. And with cosplay, I would never know that I would have amazing opportunities and like make new friends like Astra here, and like, and even traveled, like I even traveled during the pandemic, which was pretty scary, but it was worth it. And even fell in love during the pandemic as well. So it was like, yeah, it's pretty, you gotta aim for life. And a friend told me, like, a very special friend told me that only you and you alone can take responsibility and change yourself for the better. No one else can. And that's why I'm so focused on mindsets. It's just to focus on certain problems. Otherwise, there will be more problems or fear, as a lot of people have gone through this past like year. But we have no one else can make us be who we are. We can change ourselves. And I really think it's awesome that I can set an example for other people, and grateful for the ones who have stood through with me thick and thin. And it's been crazy how people tell me that I've saved their lives from my TikToks, and that really teared me up a bit. Like, I'm thankful that you're here today only because I made you laugh from one of my TikToks, only a few seconds, and I made you laugh and have a good day. And that's really big inspiration to me. It's just like you watching a few seconds of that and your whole day has just got better. So
That's the impact of what you do. And it's sometimes very hard to quantify impact or know that you're even having an impact on those around you. But my final question for you, and I will also ask if you have a final question, get ready. You feel free to ask at the end of the show here. But taking it inward, what do you feel the cosplay impacts within yourself?
it honestly embraces who I really am inside, because ever since I was 13 and 14, I started exploring into more of like my nerdy side, and I started collecting comic books and expressed into becoming more of an artist. And like in high school, people really didn't like, I wasn't cool, I wasn't popular, I did get bullied, but I still was doing stuff that I loved. And being a cosplayer actually makes me feel like a total badass, because every time I wear a costume, I'm just like, I feel so empowered. And I know Astra can relate to this too. So, and it just feels amazing. Like, I love being able to like bring a character to life and make people smile. Like, it actually makes me smile making other people smile. So I think it has grown me even to become a better person and embrace who I was born to be.
So great. And thank you so much. Astra, do you have a final question for our guest today?
I do. I've thought about this quite a lot. What is your favorite color? No, I'm joking. So one of the things that I love talking about and asking is, because I also love talking about this and asking it, or being asked it rather, but so we connect really well for a number of reasons, but one of them I feel is because we both have a lot of similar views on things like life and just what we do. Like hearing you talk about making people smile and everything, it brought me back to the first episode I ever did with Scotty, like my own interview where I would talk about that. And it was weird. It was like looking in a mirror for a second, but the way that you talk about things and how you're so passionate and what you believe in, something that I wanted to ask you, which you can take a second to think about this because it's a bit heavy.
Okay.
But if you could go back in time to your younger self, and if you could say any piece of advice to your younger self or to somebody who is younger watching this, what would you tell them? What would you say? What is something that you've learned that you wish you had known before?
I would tell myself, you're gonna do amazing things. You're gonna be great. It's just whatever you were feeling when you were younger, it is totally normal. And honestly, just high school will always be like, high school will stay in the past. Like, I know a lot of younger people think high school is like forever and it's like that's like their main life, but no, it's you actually staying strong through that time period and still following your dreams and being yourself and not changing who you are just to fit in. Be like, who wants to be normal? Like, don't be normal. Like, be yourself. Like, there's no rules on being perfect. It's just, and I've always wanted to be perfect and fit in with everybody. But now, since I'm actually just being me, and now people from high school keeps calling me up saying like, hey, like we should hang out sometime. I was like, you didn't want to be friends with me in high school. Like, what?
Yes.
If they see me being confident and actually enjoying life and being my true self. And I would say to myself, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. You're going to do amazing things. You're going to go through some difficulties, but you will come out on top at the end.
Yes, I've absolutely been there with the whole thing about people coming up from nowhere. But yes, so thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. I, again, love your inspiring words. You have such a way with words. And I will throw it back over to Scotty.
Yes, really, you do have a way with words, with cosplay, with everything that you do to inspire and to create the impact that you do. Miss Seattle's Beauty, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can we find you and how can we support you online?
I am Seattle's Beauty on Instagram and TikTok.
All right.
Seattle's Beauty for everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
So easy to find, everybody. And we will have those links in the show notes and in the description below. Astrovoid, would you like to take us out today?
As always, I will do my best. We made the joke once before that I will never be able to find a day where I don't have an awkward outro, and I'm assuming it will not be today either. Today will not be an exception. So without further ado, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Sarah, for being here and for coming on. It was lovely to have you. And yeah, so again, thank you guys so much. We hope that you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, a comment, if you can. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be lovely. It made me very happy. I say that every time. And yes, if you'd like to find me, I'm Astrovoid Cosplay across all platforms on my Instagram and TikTok. Sarah already shared hers, and of course we have the Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary across platforms. So thank you all so much, and we hope that you have a lovely day, and goodbye.